Imagine yourself in a world that you're alone in. It's just you, the trees, birds, the wind. But then suddenly, you're no longer alone. Oh my gosh, he can climb, he can climb, he can climb. Oh, I panicked. So much iron. What was that? Wait, no. No, wait. No, my house is on fire. For the next 10 nights, I'll be attempting to survive some of the most horrifying mods with just one rule. I'm not allowed to sleep, which means I need to build a shelter, find some companions, and absolutely under no circumstances get caught when the sun goes down. If I move too slow, I'll get caught with an incomplete shelter, no food, and if trouble occurs, I'm screwed. First thing that has to be done to guarantee survival is to find a safe location to call home. And I have to collect as many resources as I possibly can before the sun sets, because once it does, it turns deadly. After collecting enough wood to start our shelter and enough stone to cook up some grub for dinner, nightfall started to approach really quickly, and I realized that I didn't have enough resources to complete my house. So I took the risk of getting caught out, and I grabbed as many logs as I could before returning to my tiny shack. Okay, don't judge me. My building skills aren't exactly the best. Even though there are unknown entities that lurk in the night, on the third night, there will be another entity that will join the world and haunt me through the remainder of this challenge. With our first night officially upon me, I decided to barricade the door and remove the back door just to be extra cautious, which turned out to be one of the best choices I made this entire video, because you're fine. You're fine. He shouldn't be able to get you. I'm not gonna let you get me. Not this time. Does that mean he's gone? Oh, my house is on fire. No. With just barely managing to keep my house from completely burning down, this challenge was turning out to be something that was way more challenging than I originally anticipated. Which means with the sun rising and the birds beginning to chirp again, I had to make the most of my limited time. First, I needed to grab more materials like wood, stone, and since we needed more stone to fireproof the house, I started to strip mine hoping that I could find a cave or at least some sort of iron to help out in our gear department, but I struck out hard, which caused me to burn through way more time than I originally wanted to dedicate to mining. I did try to look around for a few more minutes for a cave, but I just could not find anything decent. So to make sure I at least had enough time to fireproof the house, I decided to head back and start that process. But then for some reason, I ran out to grab some sand just as the sun was starting to set, which is the one rule that you're not supposed to do. But I wanted to be able to see any danger that might approach. So after cooking up and installing the windows, I waited. And waited. And just as I thought I was in the clear, oh my god. Why? What do I do? What do I do if he doesn't go? Is he gone? No. Stop setting my house on fire. Even with another attempt at my house trying to burn down, I thought today was going to be another nice and sunny day. Boy, was I wrong. Because of how thick these clouds were, I wasn't able to figure out what time of day it was, which was going to make exploring quite difficult. When I did eventually step outside, there was something waiting for me. Why is there a sign out here? Listen closely? That just gave me goosebumps, man. I genuinely don't know what mod is allowed to place signs like that. That extra entity that I mentioned earlier, yeah, it's here. I couldn't let that or just a little rain stop me from exploring because I knew the night had just concluded, so at a minimum, I had a few minutes to run around and try to find another cave, which I did eventually find, but there was just no iron anywhere. And seeing how deep and dark this cave really was, I decided it was probably better to keep exploring and try to find a better and less scary one. It didn't really seem to matter how long I ran around and looked for one though, because I just could not find one. I searched and searched and searched. Eventually I gave up and I started to head back and grab some extra food just to make sure I wouldn't starve during the night. I must have gotten really bored this night though, because according to my notes, this is my third ever video on this channel, and I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you really like this style of content and would like to see more of these kinds of videos, subscribing is the best way to let me know. It would mean the world to me. think he's gone. This is the first time he hasn't full-on attacked us. This was helping me build a lot more courage for the next few days, and for day 4, I adventured the furthest I've gone so far. I went and did a bunch more exploring just as I did on day 3. I looked around for more caves, just trying to find one that would supply us with enough iron to survive even just a bit easier. Finally, I found a cave that was holding up some promise, but I probably should have been a bit more careful. We need this. We need this so bad. Oh my gosh, there's so much iron. What was that? What is 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 that? The only way I was able to escape was by slowly digging my way away from where the cave dweller was. And you'd think that that would be the end of my worries, right? Wrong. Because not only can I be hunted while I'm underground, there was also something else in the mines with me. Can he? What was that? Watching me. Yet I am totally alone in this world. After what felt like an eternity, the sounds did start to become more few and far between. Enough that I could start digging up to the surface without too much stress about getting completely annihilated. I was down in the caves for a long time though. So long that night 4 had already completely passed by, and a significant amount of day 5 too, which meant I had just enough time to get home and start prepping the bit of iron I did find in the mines before the night started to set in. At this point, I was growing a bit more confidence in what this monster was capable of doing, and simultaneously getting mildly frustrated that... Okay. What is with you and taking down my frickin' door? After replacing the door, I sparked an idea. The second the sun came up and day 6 started, I got to work. I needed to collect some berries so that when the monster approached me, it would help slow him down and do small bits of damage. The second thing we needed to grab was a bucket of lava so that we could create what I like to call the Boil Boy. However, since I spent a lot of extra time doing more cave exploration, still desperately trying to look for more iron, it caused me to spend a little too much time getting to the lava spill I found earlier, and the worst thing happened. And let's now... I thought that was a creeper. Oh, and it's starting to rain. Oh no. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Now I don't know when it's going to be nighttime. So hauling back to the shelter, I started phase 2 of the plan, which was construction. But with night approaching, I only had enough time to fireproof the front door, which in retrospect I should have done much earlier. It just became too risky to stay outside any longer because one hit from this guy and I'm dead. And by this night, I wasn't so much freaked out anymore when he charged at me, and more so determined to find a way to get rid of him forever. So as the night passed and another rainstorm started, I was met by another forgotten part of Minecraft. Oh my god. Oh my Jesus Christ. Thought that was some mod that I forgot that I installed, and once they were taken care of, I went back to construction. Originally, I was thinking about going with a much simpler design, but after a few iterations, I ended up landing on this 2x3 gap, which should be big enough to trap him. And since there was still plenty of time in the day, I used the rest of it to gather some more dirt and berries to make extra sure that there was no way he could somehow zoom over the trap and miss the lava. With the trap now set, it was time to see if my genius will finally bring this monster to rest. He never spawned. Well, okay, he did, but he must have seen the trap and got scared, because when he did spawn, he stayed very far away on the opposite side of where the trap was. So instead of burning the night like I have been, I got to work making sure that when he did spawn, he would pathfind to me and drop straight into the lava, instead of possibly just walking around it. Though other than the initial ladder structure, we didn't get very far by the time the sun came up. Then I saw something. I see you. Stay away from me. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This was as scary as...
Oh no! I forgot have to take out the chicken!
I guess the jump scare made me extra ambitious because I decided that I wanted to make the entire structure now out of glass, so I could see and watch where and what the monster was doing at all times. Which for some reason, mining that much sand takes a lot of time on top of smelting it, because we got the initial structure created, but converting it to glass got only about halfway completed before night 8 fell. So I encased myself in the glass, and I hoped that he didn't have the power to break glass, because I had never done this before. And it was time to see if the trap actually worked. Oh, where is he? He's over there. Oh, and he's gone. Actually, I don't think he's gone. Oh. He can climb. Even though this time he showed up, he ended up completely avoiding the trap for a second time in a row and a third time, because the next time he spawned, he got confused on how ice worked and he just never made it up to the trap in time before he despawned. And it might have been because I hadn't slept in 8 days, but the amount of phantoms that were ready to swarm me was genuinely insane. Like, I think there are 10 of them right here. The next day consisted mostly of collecting more sand and other resources to finish out building what I'm calling the bait cage, as well as watching whatever this was. Oh. What? By this point, we've come such a long way. From failing the very first night I attempted this, which also meant I lost our beloved chicken nugget, to almost dying from the cave dweller, and now we're building a functioning trap to finally kill this thing. But there's one thing that we still haven't gotten to do yet: find Chicken 2.0. I was determined. Even if I got caught out at night, even if I died falling into loose snow, or even if I just died at all, we had to bring back Nugget into this world. I loved him. So after searching high and low, from deep snow trenches to inside caves, I just could not hear his clucks anywhere. But right as I was about to call it quits, as night was getting ready to set in, I don't see any chickens.
Oh my gosh! Hi! You just came out of no. Okay, come on. We gotta go fast. The sun is setting. Yeah, chicken! And you dropped an egg. Okay, you guys, come on. We gotta go. Come on, guys. There's a third! Chicken Nugget Junior. Okay, I gotta dig you a hole.
However, getting caught at night would mean it would be certain death. I had to build a temporary hole for them so we could come back in the morning and finally bring them home. And boy, was I cutting it close. With just enough time to prime the trap and get into position, it was finally time, for real this time, to see if the trap would work. So I waited and waited and waited until finally, just before the morning, this happened. Oh my god. Come on. Yep. Okay, now go in the lava. He's immune to the lava? Yeah. He's immune to lava. Though he did take damage whenever he was walking through the berry bushes. So I attempted at pricking him to death, but that also just did not work. So now, knowing this very vital, important information, there was only one thing left to do: fight him face to face. So as our rainy day started, it was time to set out and complete mission number 1: rescue Chicken, Nugget, and Junior, which went surprisingly smooth. And for some reason, Chicken and Junior resorted to chilling up in the top, while Nugget decided to hang around with me. Even though you wouldn't think that getting all 3 of them inside the house would take very long, by the time that all 3 were inside and settled, it was basically nighttime. There was a whole lot of extra struggle and back and forth that you just did not see. So I went ahead and used my last remaining iron to craft an iron sword and got ready for one final fight.
Okay, he's here. Oh my gosh, there he is. Come on. Oh my gosh, it's working. Come on. No, don't push me in there, chicken. Come on. Come on, we can do it. Come on, you gotta be so close. No!
Not only did we lose the fight, but we also lost our friend. And there was nothing I could do. Nugget died too soon and had so much life left to live. So to bring him to peace, I created his final resting spot for not just my friend, but for my best friend. Rest in peace, Nugget. Here's to one more bok bok.